This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
Welcome into News 2 at 4, everybody. I'm Erica Francis.
And I'm Alex Dennis at Breaking News. The sentencing of RaDonda Vaught. She is the former Vanderbilt nurse convicted of mixing up medications that led to the death of a patient. News 2's Stephanie Langston was in the courtroom all day today. She has learned her fate in a case that has garnered nationwide attention. Stephanie, now with the reaction, Steph.
Well, there appeared to be some silent prayers and then tears of relief, really, from both sides of the courtroom. Those here to support RaDonda Vaught saying this is the best outcome they could have asked for.
The court therefore finds that judicial diversion is appropriate and will enter an order today placing the defendant on supervised probation.
As a previous chief nursing officer and dean of a nursing college, this is the best outcome we can dream for. Nurses don't need to go to prison for doing our jobs, and we were heroes 2 years ago, and now she was being threatened with going to jail.
It was a packed courtroom filled with emotions as we heard testimony from Charlene Murphey's family about how difficult the last 4.5 years have been as they seek closure and peace. The family heartbroken yet forgiving RaDonda Vaught. Vaught crying during much of the testimony and apologizing to the family as soon as she took the stand.
Words alone will never fully express the remorse and the sorrow for my actions and the horrific loss of Charlene Murphey's life.
Now, after that three-year probation sentencing was read, I saw some of Murphy's family outside speaking to those nurses, many who have traveled here from out of state, watching this case closely, saying it sets a precedent for the healthcare industry. I'll have more of that part of the story, plus more reaction from Charlene Murphy's family coming up on News 2 at 6. Reporting live from the Birch Building, Stephanie Langston, News 2.
Well, nurses from around the country celebrated at the moment the judge ruled Vaught would get supervised probation. Hundreds gathered at Public Square Park to show support for the former Vanderbilt nurse. News 2's Madison Glassman spoke to them earlier today, and she continues our team coverage of Vaught's sentencing.
Several hundred healthcare workers traveled from all over the country to show their support for former Vanderbilt nurse RaDonda Vaught. There were several hundred out here today, some holding signs and cheering, saying that they went from hero during the pandemic to now zero. The rally began shortly after 7 o'clock this morning with a moment of silence for 75-year-old Charlene Murphey and her family. Murphy was the patient given a dose of the wrong medication that took her life. Nurses saying they're fearful they could end up in jail in the future over their mistakes. They say no doubt what happened to Murphy was a tragedy, but they say Vaught does not deserve jail time. They believe Vanderbilt could have done more to protect their employee. They say this is an extremely tough profession made worse by the pandemic, and in so many ways they believe they're set up to fail.
I'm just here to unite as nurses and understand that this could be any of us. Any day, any time this could happen to us. The ratios are horrible for us. The work is horrible, but it's rewarding because we love what we do.
We have new students who are entering into the workforce, and are they going to be as willing if something happens and it isn't a life-altering mistake? Somebody mentioned giving an aspirin. Well, yeah, there are definitely ramifications that can happen with just an aspirin, but will they recognize that?
Criminals do criminal activity with the intent of being a harm to society. And this was a mistake, and we're all human and we all make mistakes, and she did exactly what she was supposed to in reporting her mistake.
People were out here for hours watching the sentencing on their phone. Loud cheers can be heard when people, even Murphy's family, spoke about forgiveness. Reporting in Nashville, Madison Glassman, News 2.
We're also following a breaking news alert tonight. Both the American Nurses Association and the Tennessee Nurses Association reacting to the sentencing now. Allie Lynch is at the WKRN.com alert desk. Allie.
Alex, that's right. Both associations have supported RaDonda Vaught since the beginning. They released a joint statement to News 2 saying, quote, "We are grateful to the judge for demonstrating leniency in the sentencing of Nurse Vaught. Unfortunately, medical errors can and do happen, even among skilled, well-meaning and vigilant nurses and healthcare professionals. Both associations also say, quote, our hearts continue to go out to the loved ones of both Ms. Murphey and Nurse Vaught, all of whom were deeply affected by this tragedy and face a long road of healing. Alex.
Allie, thank you. News 2 has been on top of this story for months. You can see all of our coverage on our website, WKRN.com.